So a couple days ago, we had the great Stefan Rembel on the channel, and he was demonstrating some ideas for playing gypsy jazz, right? Some frameworks with these three positions that he likes to use. So today I thought we would look at a continuation of that using some of Django Reinhardt's famous lines from Minor Swing, using that same key of A minor. And we're going to look at 5 different licks and also how these are broad concepts that you can build your own licks off of. So not just a lick, but really a launching point for vocabulary in this gypsy jazz style. We'll get right into it. The first one we're looking at comes from the beginning of Django's solo on Minor Swing, and it sounds like this. Now, a couple things I want to point out here. The key element for getting a gypsy jazz sound here is this enclosing around the root. So we're in A minor, and listen to how he goes. Everything is targeting that A. And you'll hear that a lot. The G sharp, B, A. Then what do? We're going into a D minor 6. So one way you can think about this is either as a D minor 6 arpeggio, or for a lot of jazz musicians, it's easier to think about it like using a B half diminished arpeggio. A, F, D, B. So over an A minor, we want to make sure we're using a lot of these enclosures. And over D minor 6, when that comes up, we can use B half diminished arpeggio. All right, next one sounds like this. What I want you to learn from this line is that there's a lot of similarity between what Django's playing in the D minor 6 and the E7. The real difference is that on D minor 6, there's a lot more emphasis on the A. And then really all we need to switch in playing our lines and our ideas from D minor 6 to E7 is focusing on G sharp instead. And that creates, instead of a B minor 7 flat 5, B half diminished, we create a B fully diminished sound. And that's the kind of arpeggio you'll see. Otherwise, it's a lot of the same notes. D, C, B, A, but he focuses on that G sharp. And you're not really gonna see the G sharp when he's playing over D minor 6. Let's take a look at the third line, and it sounds like this. The key takeaway here is this enclosure, this hammer-on pull-off around the E note that I want you to get at the end. And also the different ways we can approach that. Sometimes he's playing this double D sharp in there, and then sometimes he can do the enclosure, right? We still have all of that play with the G sharp, B, A, and then we have a new one to look at. So that's a really great one, that pull off from F and all the way back, playing around with that E note. Very similar to Let's take a look at our fourth example. What I really want to show you with this fourth example is how to use arpeggios in this gypsy jazz context. Especially with the E7, we really play off of these 2 notes per string. Now, remember, Django was missing some of his fingers, his use of his fingers, and so most of the time he's playing with 2 fingers for these lines. So a lot of this lends itself to a 2 note per string kind of idea, which also happens to fit in with the style of picking that I use. So what this means is we tend to play on the E7, G sharp and B on one line, and then D and F on the other line. And then the other thing I want to point out here is it's really interesting that he ends on the F sharp for A minor, giving it that A minor 6 sound, where in a more traditional jazz context, we may be more likely to reach for a note from the A minor 7 arpeggio, like a G. But the 6 sounds really cool here. So, and then we have a lot of the same common, and then we're just playing with the A minor triad until we hit D, leading us into D minor 6. So a lot of these, what I want to show you is the connections between the triads from one, say the E7 arpeggio, going into the A minor triad, using this right? Circling the C. And then also how we get out of the A minor triad going into the minor 4, the D minor 6. This time just going C to D, and that's that connection. Now this last one is really cool. It's a bit of a challenge. Let me know in the comments if you actually are able to play it. We'll see if I can play it. I don't know that I can do it at the full Django tempo, but maybe like 90% I can get there. It sounds like this. Not bad. All right, let's say that's the best I can get for right now. So let's take a look at this. So it's 4 notes per string in triplets. We're going through a few different chords here, the D minor 6, the E7, and then the A minor. Starting off on the G. So we have, like I said, triplets, and we're doing down, up for each string. We shift there with the first finger, ending back on the F sharp. So and it's a really great practice for the kind of picking that I talk about. And then we have this little down, up, ending with the A minor triad. Again, this is like our really cool lick, and one that you can probably implement in a lot of different places. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this lesson. Shout out to Max for signing up as a YouTube member. He's also a member of the community, my guitar community. You can get on the waiting list for that. It's been going really well. Maybe I'll throw up some of the comments here from people, but they've been getting so much out of the structure and the curriculum and just the general supportive community. It's closed right now, but I'll probably be opening it at the beginning of the year, next year. So you definitely want to get on the waiting list so you find out if you missed the first round of it. Anyways, that is it for today's lesson. Please hit the like button if you liked the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave me a comment below so I can see what you guys thought of this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.